together that 4th of July day. That's when the land you're standing on became the U.S. of A. United we will stand, but divided we fall. One nation under God says it all. Men are created equal, words written in by hand. They all stand to fight when a cry for freedom rings. Freedom isn't free, it comes with a cost. One nation under God says it all. One nation under God says it all. This old world's changing, it's changing every day. For the land of the free and the home of the brave. Stand up, everybody. Stand
That's real stupid on the call. Can you call it?
One nation.
Okay, maybe she'll be at 8:30. Maybe
Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. It is 4/23 of 2019. And as always, I got my co-host, Greg Williams, attorney at law. I like that shirt, man.
Hey, my Beto shirt. Beto and OAC and ACD and attention deficit order Democratic candidates.
You got all your bling now on. So you got your Mr. T starter kit on. You got your gold watches. Hello, Miss Debbie, Jolie, my buddy Doug Williams. I'll get to the rest of you in a little bit. So we didn't get to do it last week because I got tied up. I almost didn't make it tonight because I was at a county meeting. I'll get in that tomorrow night about the Fort Gates Ferry thing. So how the hell you been doing, Greg?
Pretty good, pretty good. A lot of crazy stuff going on, you know. I tell you, there's a little crime here in Jacksonville that keeps us busy.
Yeah, well, you come down to Putnam County too.
Yeah, we like to get down there. We haven't been down there lately. I do miss Judge Wolf.
Yeah, it's too bad he passed away. I thought he was a fair judge.
There may be a Judge Smith coming down that way. He may be rotating in. Lee Smith. I don't know if he's been moved to Palatka yet or not. I know he's in that DCA.
Anything good to say about him or bad?
He's pretty good, Jack. Good guy. Good guy. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be fair.
Okay. Where in the hell do we want to start at tonight? You want to start with Trump dumping in all the...
How about starting with Pelosi, you know, who can't seem to figure out that it's the corrupt Democrats and their idiocy and their stupid ideas that led to Trump. It was 8 years of corrupt Democrat politics that put Trump in, because Trump has got to be the cleaner, because the Democrats have run this country to the ground with the weak national defense. They still, if they had their way, they'd still be giving Iran money. That's how stupid the Democrats are. And John Kerry's an idiot. That guy Schiff, what an idiot traitor he is. He ought to be locked up just for being so dishonest to the American people. You know, again, and the Democrats have no regard for the truth, no regard for right or wrong. I mean, what have they done for us? You know, they've got, we got gay marriage, and what else we got out of them? And Obamacare. Great. Undermine 3,000 years of Western civilization, and now we're going to have health insurance that doesn't work for anybody. And that's the legacy of 8 years of Obama. That and the corruption and the treason that he committed against Donald Trump, the 45th duly elected president. I just can't stand what the Democratic Party has become. They are nasty, and they're vile, and they're gross. And I'd much rather have Donald Trump in all of his imperfections than any of the people that I've seen so far. I guess the great white hope of the Democrats is that idiot mayor of Notre Dame, like he's somebody special. And he's just another overeducated socialist wannabe that came out of our Ivy League schools, where they've been teaching socialism nonstop for 50 years. And Saul Lewinsky and Hillary Hillary's like the gift that never quits. I mean, she came out today and said the Mueller report was just the beginning. You're right, Hillary. It's just the beginning of a major look back at your crooked Russian connections. There was Russian interference. There was all kinds of Russian stuff, and Hillary was paying the Russians to do it. They're in bed. They're in bed. I mean, it's unbelievable. Hey, thank you, Shepard Smith. Why don't you go audition for CNN? He's another idiot over there. Even Fox has idiots working for him.
I can't stand Shepard Smith.
You ask.
Yeah, Shepard Smith is a joke. I mean, that guy he's not a journalist. I mean, he's a talk show host, basically, for Fox News. Yeah, so people should write this down. I said something bad about Fox
CNN,
News.
Whatever, he's a wannabe. He can go out there with his boyfriend over there at CNN. They're ridiculous.
You know what gets
They
me?
really are.
You know what gives me an anal itch so bad? They're so far up my butt here that it gives me an anal itch all the way to my tonsils. Wow. Is that Adam Schiff was on TV and he was saying the whole time, there was Trump might have not been able to he wasn't colluding with the Russians, but
every fact that they list is a report. Somebody writing a report. You have the deep state, Democrat lawyers, deep state dirtbags who really, what they were doing was trying to obfuscate, because it's all about protecting Hillary. This was all a diversion so Hillary wouldn't go down for the utter corruption and that she got away with the crooked Obama administration. I mean, it's amazing, and the institutionalization of Democratic corruption in the Democratic Party is unbelievable.
Well, there's not any collusion, but they're trying to say Trump interfered with their investigation and blah, 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 blah. How can there be interference when there was no actual crime?
No kidding. It was a fake crime. And the other thing about the deep state is all this, half these alleged Russian contacts, a lot of that was stuff created by the FBI. These guys were like circling. They would come up with a statement, a fake story. They'd have it published like in Yahoo News or something, or a Fusion, and then they would source that story for the basis of their FISA warrants. I mean, are the FISA judges that stupid? I don't know, but they sure did get played. And Mueller's fingerprints are on it. Rosenstein's fingerprints are on it. I think the only reason Rosenstein's got a job is because he has to cooperate with the postal inspector, whoever it is, that's investigating all that. If he had left, they wouldn't be able to get the truth out of him. But I'll tell you what, that's the dirtiest bunch. And I saw something on CNN the other day. How dare they talk bad about the Department of Justice, or how dare they call out the FBI for their corruption? Well, I'd rather call them out for the corruption and purge that once proud organization that got so political, because that's all Obama is. He's a little mini Chavez, okay? And if he could, he'd get rid of the Constitution, and he didn't because he couldn't. But, now the Democratic Party wants to get rid of the Electoral College. They don't give a damn about the Constitution. They want to get rid of your right to own a gun. I mean, these people are lunatics.
Well, the whole FISA judge, who brings in the FISA judges? Of course, they have to submit an application, but I just need to educate people for a second. Do you know who picks the judges for the FISA courts?
You tell me.
Justice Roberts.
Great.
Yep, Supreme Court.
Okay, well, great. Well, they gave him plenty of room. And I don't like FISA to begin with. I don't like this mega data bullshit. And I don't like the fact that we can't use common sense to catch terrorists anymore. It's like, okay, we're going to strip search that 87-year-old woman from North Carolina that's obviously not a terrorist. And we're going to let the three people wearing turbans that look kind of anti-American, we're going to let them go free and not even bother to search them while we search the 87-year-old grandma. All I'm saying is a little common sense. I mean, law enforcement has profiled, the FBI profiles, everybody profiles to catch a hardcore criminal. They fit a profile. So I'm not against profiling to catch terrorists, and I just think we should not be limited in our toolbox.
Well, last week something we didn't get to touch on. You're talking about the whole system going to crap and stuff. In New York
Oh
State,
man,
do you know what the Gold Star families are? That's the families of
yeah,
fallen
the
veterans.
wonderful people that lost their loved one to a illegal alien.
Yeah, and the Gold Star families in New York State, the Democrats approved $27 million in college aid for illegals. Okay, and they cut the funding for the Gold Star families. They didn't give them
Look,
any funding. They cut
that's
it.
terrible. But that's the state of New York. You've got a corrupt governor, Como, who's corrupt. You got his cheerleader brother on CNN running interference. They're so full of themselves and so self-righteous in that they're the only ones that matter, and they don't get it. They don't get it. Trump saved the country. I mean, we were on the path. We were going to third world status in a hurry, and you know who was cheering that on? You know who cheers the demise of America? Democrats in general, Obama specifically. The guy was a disaster. The worst president. Somehow he made Jimmy Carter not quite so bad, but this guy got reelected because we had idiots like John McCain. And John McCain, I have the Trump view of John McCain. Never been impressed with him. The only thing that I liked that John McCain ever did was he appointed Sarah Palin as vice president. I kind of as his choice because I always kind of liked Sarah Palin. But other than that, John McCain is a douchebag, and he's dead now. I hate to say it, but he sabotaged Trump. He was part of the Gang of Eight. He's part of the whole stupid fake dossier. So it is what it is. He had a hero's burial, and a lot of people liked him, but I didn't. I thought he was a sellout to the Republican Party and a sellout to conservative principles and ideas in any event. So I wasn't a big fan.
Well, Maxine Waters was back on again last night. Your second favorite gal. Impeach, impeach, impeach. And again, but did you get a chance last week to see her with what's his name from the IRS when he told her about the gavel?
She's made a fool of herself just about every time she has a committee. She's on some finance committee. She has no idea. Yeah, she was asking a bunch of people about student loans, and they're like, we're not in the student loan business. The federal government took that over 8 years ago. That's why they're having all these problems with it.
Yeah, she was asking the guy from the IRS. And then when he gets up there, he goes, well, most people have only been here for 3 hours. I've been here for well over that. He goes, am I free to go? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, well, shouldn't you hit the gavel? Don't tell me what to do. I know what the gavel's all about. He kept shooting her down. It was funny as hell. So what do you think about Trump talking about the sanctuary cities, about dumping all the illegals into them?
Well, I think that's a good idea. But one other thing, I want to be real clear about this to all my Democratic friends. Democratic voters typically are low information voters. Okay, they are low information voters. They want people to vote because of their color, because of their who they are, not because of the ideas. And I will tell you this: the ideas of the Democratic Party are a disaster to this country. So it is what it is. I hope that everybody remembers that when they when they have to vote. I know that they're working right now on trying to steal the election in Florida. The Dems are, and this thing about illegals voting is ridiculous. And I hope that the rest of the country sees what I see, which is a Democratic Congress ignoring the southern border and all the problems. I'm alarmed. I mean, I saw pictures, you may have seen them, armed people now escorting people to the border.
Did you see where the Mexican army pulled guns on?
Give me a break. Sooner or later, there's going to be some problems down there. And I will tell you, it's all on the Democrats for not doing a damn thing to secure the border.
Did you see yesterday?
Trump's making it happen. He's building some fence where he can, and he's going to do a great job. He'll get it done eventually. But how about changing the laws so we don't have an incentive for every third world person in the world to try to come over here?
I didn't see it on any of the news networks yesterday, but I did catch it on the Associated Press and a couple other ones, but none of the major fake news ones.
Well,
But did you see where the Mexican army yesterday pulled guns on our side of the border?
That's not going to last long. I will tell you this. They're all playing with fire down there. We've got the right guy at the right time. The border's going to get secured with Congress's help or without. But I want Nancy Pelosi and that whole crowd and those idiots from California. Schiff is a dirtbag. Pelosi is dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, she sees it coming. She sees another Republican wave because the Democrats don't have any good ideas. They want to increase our taxes, take our guns away, and dumb down education even more than it's already been done. How can you dumb down education even more than it already is? How about this? How about we make it all free?
Well, you know what?
Okay, really? You want to make education free? Now we've dumbed down the whole. You get what you pay for, folks.
Well,
This free education that my kid's getting, not very good, if you ask me. I'm not real impressed with the state of Florida's education system or any of these other states. I mean, I look at what they're doing in the Ivy Leagues. It's just terrible that they're indoctrinating people into all things socialism.
Well, our country was invaded yesterday, and they can say people can say whatever the hell they want, but we had Mexican army on our side of the fence that pulled guns on our soldiers and our border patrols, and our government didn't do a damn thing about it. They should have waxed their asses right there because World War III would have been between the U.S. and Mexico.
No, that wouldn't be that. That wouldn't last very long. Look. Mexico is our friend. There is some. I mean, as far
Not
as
pulling guns on us or not.
What we want with Mexico is a little bit more cooperation. But here's the problem with Mexico. They lean Marxist. They lean Marxist. They lean communist. They lean socialist. So they don't have a work ethic over there. Their economy will never be what it could be because they haven't really rewarded capitalism over there. Although capital goes there now because the labor's so cheap. But that's getting a little bit better. I mean, Mexico's got a lot of upside if they ever got their act together over there. I mean, if they really had it together, people wouldn't want to leave Mexico. They'd want to stay.
Well, that crap.
Beautiful beaches.
That crap in New York.
Beer,
That crap in New York is still pissing me off. I mean, they increased their taxes there by $1 billion this year. But I don't care about their taxes. People live in New York. You're going to pay an extra $1 billion in taxes. Yeah, you need to get the hell out of there.
People live in New York need to move out as soon as they can, but leave your New York-style Democratic Party politics with you. The reason New York sucks as a state is the Democratic Party has been running it for a long time. The reason California's going through the tubes is because the Democrats have been running it a long time. The reason San Francisco has turned into a shithole town, and I'll say it, and I haven't been to San Francisco. I don't want to go. I've seen so many pictures now of feces all over the sidewalk and Skid Row bums all over the place. And apparently the sidewalks are now an open toilet, and thanks to the San Francisco City Council. They ought to be embarrassed. I'm telling you, they have lost their minds on the West Coast, and they've lost their mind in the state of New York.
Isn't that
the Democratic Party's got nothing?
Isn't that Pelosi's
all they
district?
can do is lie to the people to try to get them to vote for them.
In San Francisco, Pelosi's district?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I just watched this thing on CNN. I love watching comedy, so every now and then again, I'll kick on CNN.
I watch CNN too, just to see how far gone they are.
They had a group of students on. Now, they had the debates the night before, and last week they've had different colleges come on. And they had students from Boston College stand up and say that babies who survive abortion should not get health care, but illegal babies that are born here should. And people that come across the border should. Now, how in the hell is it that you can have a state like this?
Boston College, a Catholic school.
I have no idea.
I thought that was a Catholic school at one time, but I will tell you this: the morality, the lack of morality on our college campuses. Again, these are the people like that idiot. Who was the idiot that went Ford? The lady named Ford that went after Kavanaugh. Clinical psychologist studies false memories. That's her field of expertise, false memories. So here she is creating her own false memory against Kavanaugh. And it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen or heard. And, it's like, oh, she's credible. She's credible. You guys are dumb and dumber. It's sad. Dumb and dumber runs the Democratic Party. OAC is a joke. That idiot Muslim up there in Minnesota, God, they're dumb up there in Minnesota. What are they doing electing people like that to Congress? But Minnesota's got to be stupid. I mean, they let a whole city grow up that doesn't speak English, that's all Islam, and that they can't even go in there hardly. I mean, it's ridiculous. And if these people from these third world countries don't want to assimilate, don't want to learn our language, they don't need to become citizens, and they don't need to vote. And you don't let non-citizens vote if you know what's good for you.
Actually, we got one of the listeners on here that says, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to, start an argument or anything. But he says, this is disgusting garbage. Why are you interviewing this POS? Well, for one,
that's all right. He's probably a Democrat. He's probably somebody like Pelosi, or he's probably so far left that he doesn't get it either. There's a reason Trump's in the White House. It's to fix the country. And if he doesn't think we got a problem on the border and the Democrats are screwing up the country, then he's blind. It doesn't matter. I don't really care what he says.
Oh, Michael said to say his name. Michael
doesn't matter.
Michael says to say his name. But
it's okay. It's Michael. Who cares?
That's the one thing this whole thing is about. It's the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. And the one thing that this does, Michael, is this.
Yeah, I agree. It's okay. But I will say this. We got problems. That's why we're on. I mean, we're on because, frankly, the Democratic Party and the mainstream media failed to do their job. Okay. I mean, the mainstream media is so in the tank for the Democrats, it's not funny. They're not even credible at CNN. They're not credible at MSNBC. Hell, they're not even credible here on Channel 4 when they start covering politics here in North Florida. So it is what it is. They all took a powder for the left-wing lunatics that run the Democratic Party. And I'd hate to be a Democrat now, and because I'd be embarrassed if I was a Democrat. What happened to your party? What happened to the Democrats? I mean, come on.
Mike's saying
that. They used to have damn men, for crying out loud. That was a man. That was a real Democrat. The lady Graham that ran for governor. Now, that was a Democrat that had a future. But you know what? If they don't think that she's good enough, they got to have some far-left Obama-light wannabe who's crooked himself. Gilliam, give me a great. Gilbama, what a disaster he would have been. I love the fact that these Dems want to get some failed politician and then run him nationally. The lady that ran for governor of Georgia is a joke. Georgia ought to be ashamed that 48% of the people in Georgia are stupid enough to vote for some lady like that's anti-American, that wants illegals to vote. That, it's all America's fault. It's not. There's a reason everybody in the world wants to move here and come here. You don't see us trying to, I want to go to El Salvador and live. I'm not looking to sneak into El Salvador or Australia or even France. Europe's such a mess right now because they've had socialism in France for the last 40 years. Great. I think the French economy is probably not even as dynamic as the California economy. I mean, the French economy is not what it could be because of the socialist crap that they have to deal with. I mean, these guys still don't even have a work ethic over there in France when you get right down to it.
I got to answer this.
Got pastry chefs.
I need to answer this real quick, Greg.
Go ahead.
Mike says that I'm embarrassing. He said, makes this man credible? Well, here's the whole thing, Mike. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. I vote the person and their politics. I only deal as much in facts as I possibly can. If you would like to come on the show next Tuesday night and have a discussion, and have a discussion with Greg, you're more than welcome to come on and debate him. Hello, Brandy. But you're more than welcome to come on and debate him. Give us your side. I mean, that's what makes this country so great. And I'm going to tell you something. You people out there listening and you don't agree with what's being said, is that unlike today where you got the Democrats and the Republicans, you got the Democrats sitting on one side and Republicans sitting on the other side, This country was founded on those two parties. Okay, good.
Not
He
those
wants to come in next
exact
Tuesday
parties,
night. Cool.
two-party system.
Give
Right.
give me a call after. Inbox me, Mike, with your stuff, and he said he'll debate you anytime.
Sure. It's no big deal. Look,
Anyways,
Democrats, I'm trying to think of a good Democrat idea. I can't think of one right now. Every good Democrat idea, I think, was passed with the Republicans' vote. So I can't think of one good Democrat idea right now. I don't think that I can run my car on solar energy. So I don't, solar energy is good, but it's not a panacea for everything. It's not a panacea. It's not gonna solve our energy problems. I mean, we need clean energy, and that's a part of it. But we need gas. We need all forms of energy. Okay, we're the energy kings. So we need to be productive. We need to make them. The country is doing so well under the better leadership, much better economic policies, much better national security policies. But yet we still have the Democratic Party trying to throw the president under the bus, trying to sabotage the country, trying to let illegals in by the hundreds of thousands. And what's going on the border is strictly because of the Democratic Party, George Soros, and all those people. And the Dems, they're all about identity politics, and they're going to self-destruct because of it. It is what it is. We're Americans first, folks. And if you can't figure that out, then we got problems. As Clint Eastwood said, the Democrat Party's full of wussies. They're wussies. Why be a Democrat where men aren't men and women aren't women? Where we're all confused. They're the biggest bunch of confused people I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. Now, and like I say, there's a lot of people that still support them. I don't get it.
well,
I don't know why anybody would vote for a Democrat right now, knowing what we know, knowing how they lied about health care, how they weakened the country, how they divided the country, how they brought back. I heard something on the radio the other day of race relations. We were fine. This whole civil rights thing was played out in the 60s and 70s. The richest people. There are so many people that have made it and lived the American dream from all walks of life, red, yellow, black, and white, Asian. You can live it, okay? But you're not going to get it by being a socialist. You're not going to get it by being waiting on a handout from the government. So it is what it is. I know a lot of people like the Democrats. A lot of them off. But I am just so disgusted with the media, with the way that they portray the Democrats, and how they want to keep sticking a microphone in one of the dumbest people in the world, OAC. Like, really? This lady is not even a good bartender, for crying out loud. I mean, my gosh, and we're going to stick a microphone and ask her about this and that and get all kinds of socialist garbage and then act like it's credible. It's amazing how the liberal media wants to dictate the country. And here's the beautiful thing about it: as long as Trump's in power, Trump plays them, and he'll continue to play the lib media for what they are. Go on Twitter. I'm all for it. Get on Twitter, talk to people, Mr. President, and keep doing the good job you've been doing. Thank God for Donald Trump.
Well, I've known Greg for a long time. Michael, and I can tell you he's not racist.
Oh, that's another tried thing they do. Oh, if you're a Republican, you're a racist. That's what they do. These people are so pathetic on the Democratic Party. Really, really, everything's racist, or you're a homophobe if you think maybe traditional marriage wasn't such a bad thing. That's the Democratic Party. You can take that party and you can stick it where the sun don't shine.
Okay. So you're going to come in, Michael, because he said no, and then he said yes, and then he said no.
He may come in. It doesn't matter. Okay. The point is, they may have some good ideas. I can't remember one. I'm just trying to struggle.
Well,
Give me something they did. I mean, the Civil Rights Act. Well, I think that was a Republican bill that got passed. Okay, I think the Republicans are the ones that got that passed. But I'm trying to think what they've done good. I mean, they want to get rid of the Electoral College. Not a great idea. Probably a lousy idea. They want to go against the founding fathers. Really, they want to cozy up to extremists. I mean, they want to bow down to the Taliban. Really, I'm not into that. I'm not into John Kerry
Oh, you
or
got
the
to check this
corrupt
out.
Hillary Clinton.
You
You
got
know
to
those
check
guys
this
are.
out. You got to
Go
check this
ahead.
out. Okay, we just got a
Yeah.
review from Michael Taylor. This way.
Great.
We got a review from Michael Taylor 10 months ago. This is what he put up about me. Now, you've known me for a lot of years, Greg. In his review, he writes, bias Fox News garbage, Putnam County trash, lame. Okay, so why do you call me trash?
Hey, because that's another tool of the Democratic Party. Ad hominem personal attacks.
Well,
That's
wait.
what they're all about.
Now I got
You
people
know,
saying wait. Now I got people. This is getting really interesting. That saying he's saying that I'm a racist. I have two black sons. I'm an American Indian. I adopted two black kids that have done exceptionally well for themselves. Matter of fact, my one son had just gotten a top 20 in the state. I didn't tell you about this, did I, Greg?
no.
William has gotten in the top 20 in the state for academics. I'm so
Excellent.
proud of him. You know what? I've
I
never
can't
seen.
believe it because I know that you're not in the top 20 in the state, but it just goes to show that you can really, if you apply yourself, you can do great things.
I've never once seen color in my kids. They don't care. I've got two Indian kids.
You know,
You know. But
it's
anyways,
sad. It's sad.
yeah,
That's the
Michael, if you want to come on,
You're a
hell, love to
Republican.
have you on here debating Greg.
If you're a Republican, you're a racist. They whip it out every 4 years. It doesn't work. The only people that buy into that are the dumbass Democrats that like to believe that. Okay, most people don't believe it. Okay, most people know it's not true. It is what it
He
is. The
said,
Democrats want to shout you down. They want to kill free speech. If you don't agree with their big government, ignorant view of the world, where we have to tax and confiscate your money and your guns and basically tell you what to do from the moment you're born until the moment you die because the government thinks you're just a bunch of cash registers. That's crap. I mean,
Michael,
America was founded on individual initiative, individual civil liberties, and individual rights. That's how you can develop a great company or a great country.
let me answer this real quick, Greg. Michael, PM the Putman Way. Go on the Putman Way and send Tammy over your phone number, and I'll call you after the show, and you can come in the studio, or you can do it over Discord, or whatever you want to do. If you want to come in and debate, I'm fair. I remain unbiased. So, anyways, back
Here's
off of
what I
that
think's
now.
happening to you, Travis. Because I am, I have to admit I lean Republican. Although if it wasn't for Trump, I'd be an independent. So Trump saved, the Republican Party. I'm still a part of it, but I'm not, I'm not in love with the Republican Party. I do like, the Republican ideas of strong national defense and free enterprise and capitalism and all that. But I don't trust them because there's a lot of rhinos out there, and a lot of the Democrats and the Republicans really, a lot of times they have the same view. It's just at different times. At one time, it was the Democrats that wanted to secure the border. And now it seems like because Trump wants to secure the border, none of the Democrats want to secure the border.
Hey, I got to tell my
So,
program manager, we don't have time, Marie. We don't have time tonight for me to call him because I don't want to. There's only 11 minutes left on the show. I'm not going to burn it up on that just so somebody can get their say out. I want it to be fair, and I want it to be balanced all the way around. So I'm not
he
going to do
can call,
that.
and you got other shows too. I mean, you could have put him on one day and let him see if he can make an argument for the left. I just don't see a lot
That's what I'm
there
saying.
on the
We'll get it
left.
set up for Tuesday night. We'll get it set up for Tuesday night. If you can't wait till then, I don't know what to tell you. I'll get my staff to PM you. Anyways,
There's
but
more that unites Republicans and Democrats than divides us. There should be. And frankly, for the country to work, Republicans and Democrats both got to work together. It's called compromise. The Republicans have compromised a lot, okay? A lot. And the Democrats don't want to compromise at all. All they want to do is it's their way or the highway. I'll tell you, after 8 years of Obama, Trump is a breath of fresh air. I love what the guy's doing. I love his policies. And I like the fact that we're strong. This country's getting stronger. And there's lots of problem spots and hot spots in this world. And we just got to be strong so we don't have to be victimized. And this thing that happened with these churches, this radical Islam thing, it's terrible.
Well,
It's a terrible, terrible thing. And what happened in Notre Dame, France is so in deep with the Muslim culture over there that if it was a Muslim trying to blow up Notre Dame, they would never tell us because they've already lost that war over there. We don't want America to become France. I can tell you this. We need to know who's coming in, how long they're staying, and when they're leaving. Okay? It's called protecting your national interest. This is what it is. Every other country in the world has far more rigorous standards for people visiting or working or overstaying their visas. So it is what it is. It's amazing.
well, the whole Mueller report came out, but before I jump on that, because we only have, they got all kinds of people. Hello, Todd. Anyways, they're saying Michael's thing is a fake thing. He's wanting me to call him now. Hey, Michael, if you want to be on the show, call up the office there or PM Tammy.
Hey, Michael might just be playing you. Michael could
probably
be a closet Republican just trying to play devil's advocate.
I don't know. But anyways, the one thing that struck me as it really pissed me off this past week was Omar. Yeah, yeah, she gets on there and says some people did something on 9/11. What a slap in the face of the American people. Some people did something.
She's hey,
say it like it is.
Is she from Minnesota too, or Wisconsin? They got that other Islamist congresswoman too. She's another idiot. I forget her name. She wants to impeach the president before he did anything wrong. Again, I don't know where they get these freak shows that they parade as representing a mainstream America. I don't get it. I really don't. The country's not that far gone. Apparently, there are little hotbeds of liberalism. I know, some professors out there at one of the colleges. It's just sad that they're so far left. They just don't get it, and they think that's the way it should be. And and they promote things that are so, I don't know, anti-Christian, anti-Judo-Christian, anti-values. I mean, what is wrong with right and wrong? It's wrong to shoot people. It's wrong to shoot somebody. It's wrong to take somebody's life. It's wrong to lie. It's wrong to sleep with your neighbor's wife. Certain things. But yet, in the democratic world, climate control is our religion. It's all about climate change. That's our God. That's our religion. We must bow down to the altar of climate change. I want to say, give me a break.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they have to go in and replace everybody's homes, there's not enough money. I mean, trillions and trillions of dollars. $56 trillion. Where are they going to come up with the money for this? And Medicaid, even this past week, everybody that's been pushing Medicaid for all, Bernie Sanders, the rest of them, now say they don't know where they're going to get the money from. You can't buy something if you don't have money. There's only so much money. Look at what they've done to our Social Security. You and I paid into Social Security all of our lives, right? That was a supplemental income so that when we got old, we would have a little something. They spent it. It's gone.
You know what's scarier? They want to take the money that you and I make, take it from us, take it from our families, and give it to the illegal aliens that aren't even citizens. I mean, come on, let's solve our own problems. I mean, Cher finally got it right. A couple of weeks ago, she said, well, wait a minute. Maybe we don't need all these immigrants over here when we got all these homeless right now we're not taking care of.
Yeah, I couldn't believe Cher said that. Now Hollywood's starting to flip over.
Hey, Clint Eastwood had it right, though. The Dems, man, they did. They made the country weak. And you know what? It's an attack on men. The Democratic Party doesn't want men to be around, apparently. They wouldn't know a man. I mean, really? I mean, I guess Obama was what they considered a man, I guess. And the whole thing is we're going to apologize to everybody, and then basically be dishonest about the way you govern. And we saw through it. Most of us on the right side of the aisle saw through Obama. But again, when you have the media protecting you like they did. I mean, this is the guy that said we had 49 states, this, that, and the other. One faux pas after another, the media'd cover it all up. But Trump is a breath of fresh air compared to the deep state that about ruined the country. And the deep state's alive and well, unfortunately. And they still got to purge the Department of Justice, and there still needs to be a purge within our national security apparatus. I mean, to politicize the FISA courts, to politicize the IRS and the FBI, and to have them act like third world rogues, it's terrible. Hillary Clinton is a gift that keeps on giving, though. She spoke up today, and every time she opens her mouth, I just want to, God, somebody lock her up. I mean, I'm telling you, the lady is so crooked. She's gotten away with so much. And I guess if you're a Democrat and you got money, you can do anything you want without repercussion. I mean, how about Smollett? I mean, that's another smelly character. It's a Democrat. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Anyways, you got 1 minute. What do you want to say? Because I've got to do my closing thing here.
Democrats are bad. They're bad for the country. They don't have America's interest at heart. They want to let illegals in. They want to give your money to the illegals so they can turn them into Democrats. They don't even want them to learn the language before they make them honorary citizens. And they want to give people the right to vote. And there was over 1 million, I don't know how many illegal votes in California, but it's out. They voted illegally in California, probably flipped a lot of things. Lots of elections have been stolen from the Republican voters by illegal voters that are voting in these states with no ID requirement. And it just makes me sick. Voter ID is not voter suppression. You need to have an ID to vote, just like you need to have an ID to drive. There you have it.
All right, Mr. Williams. We'll see you back on here Tuesday night. Hopefully we'll get.
I'm a little irritated at the damn Democrats.
Hopefully Michael comes on. He's got a thing going on here for.
Okay, well, I'll take it easy on him. I have friends that are Democrats. I may have been a little too hard on them, but the bottom line is, I'm waiting for some good ideas.
Yep.
Show me a good idea that doesn't say, take my 9mm away, take my handgun away. Semi-automatic handguns are not automatic weapons. Semi-automatic rifles are not automatic rifles. Okay, so it is what it is. And how about we teach our children better, and we teach respect, and maybe we even put the 10 Commandments back into school. Ooh, wouldn't that be something if our kids learn not to kill, not to steal, not to bear false witness? Maybe we should teach civics. Oh, hey, they just started doing that again. Well, that's about damn time.
Teach them how to write checks in cursive.
Yeah, and how about teaching them how to write and sign their names? Yeah, I mean, again, in education, it's like they want to blame everybody else. Listen, you guys are the ones that created it. Every liberal idea has been involved in education for years. The Department of Education in Washington is another corrupt organization. They care more about the teachers and their pensions than they do the students. It is what it is. I see it every day.
Yep. All right, Mr. Williams, we will see you next Tuesday night. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Good luck with that big case you got going on.
All I can do, it's just my little part to make the world a better place,
I know. We'll keep it straight, real. All right, buddy. Talk to you later, man.
Bye.
All right, bye.
All right.
Okay, let's see. Let me get to a couple of these comments here because a few people are listening on IITW radio. You need to kick over to Facebook over the Putman Way because we're definitely going to run out of time here with 1 minute and 5 seconds left there. Let's see. Where do we go here? Michael, if you want to come on, my staff is telling me that your page is fake. If you want to come on the air next Tuesday night and debate Greg, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I base my studies and my stuff. I base it on research, on facts. I dig everything up. I don't rely on CNN. I don't rely on Fox. You were wrong when you gave me a bad review, which I don't care. I don't know who you're talking about who's uninformed. All my life I've been in politics. I've been in politics since before Nixon. So I was born before man was put on the moon. I remember standing in my house at 9 years old, watching TV on black and white, way before in this crap you guys have got now. The problem with this country, Michael, is that back when this country was founded, and you can go look it up in your history books, there was a group of men that got together. They weren't paid politicians. They were a group of men that wanted to make a better life. They wanted to get away from England. They wanted to get away from tyranny and from being overtaxed. That goes into the Tea Party. That goes into a bunch of crap. They wanted to get away from that way of life. And they wanted to come to a country where the people could sit down and debate freely. That's the one thing that's always made this country great and made it what it is today. Is when both sides get together and they talk things out and they work things out. The greatest thing ever done in our country was our Constitution. And that was where both sides came together. They put away their differences. They put away politics. And they said, you know what? We're going to come up with something that works. And they did. And for over 200 years, it has worked. Now, no other country can say that. Venezuela's in a tanker. Switzerland's in a tanker. England's in a tanker. Cuba's in a tank. All these other countries. We still are the greatest country on this planet. And that's just the way it is. And what do you mean I don't know history? Buddy, I'd be glad to debate you anytime you want. Anything. You're a history teacher. You have no idea of what you talk about. I'm a history major. I've had my whole life in history. You're just wanting to piss a match, dude, and I'm not going to give it to you. You can say I'm wrong, but you know what? If you were so educated, you wouldn't be on here calling me names. You wouldn't be calling me a racist. You're uneducated. I'm not a racist. My business partner, is Hispanic. My ex-wife was Cuban. My kids are part Cuban and part Native American Indian. And I have 2 black children that I adopted. They were forced on me. I didn't have them out of some freak thing where I went and screwed a woman and had 2 kids. I chose to take those kids into my house and into my life and raise them. So don't you ever call me a racist. And you can get on here and call me whatever you want. And you're a prick. You know that? You want to call some names? Here we go, Michael. I'm a racist. You're a prick. Let's go to the next one. Tokenism? Tokenism. Is that where you smoke your weed and get on my radio show and think that you're all that? And your gift's God's gift of politics? Let's see. Let's get some real ones on here. You're a history teacher, Michael Taylor. Laugh out loud. You're disgusting to the public education. Just call me. Let's debate. What are you afraid? I'm not afraid of anything. Only thing I'm afraid of is that my kids won't turn out right. But you know what? They're all honor roll. They've always been on honor roll. And I've taught them the Constitution. I've taught them how to write checks, how to write cursive, even when the teachers got away from that and the government got away from it. And what you were saying is that illegals don't get Social Security. You're wrong about that. I was just at the Social Security office last week, and I saw illegals get in there applying for Social Security. Doug, you're right. And he's seeking attention like all snowflakes. John, hello from Palm Coast. How you doing, John? But let me ask you something, Michael. I go out and I help people. Every year we raise this year we got $180,000 or 180,000 bottles of water we raised for our firemen, our volunteer firemen. We got collected over 50,000 toys for our kids in our community. And you know what? They weren't all white honkies. They weren't little black kids running around with nappy heads. They weren't Chinese people with the eyes slanted. They were children. They were American children. And you say, bull crap? Call any of your volunteer firefighters and ask them. Call any of your firefighters and ask them. You've been called out, dude. Hello, Stephen. Then, now on top of it, between the 50,000 toys that we raised, 4,000 or 5,000 on Christmas and Thanksgiving. And you know what I get paid for it? Zero. You know what I get paid for doing this show? Zero. You know why I do it? To educate people. I'm gross, dude. What's gross about me? My shirt doesn't even have a spot on it. My shorts are spotless. I take a shower every day. I maintain well hygiene. Okay, Doug, ignore him. He is baiting you. John, thank you for your service. He was a volunteer. Fireman and 20 years in Buffalo. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. Michael, I haven't called you. You want to put your phone number up here? I'll have everybody call you. I told you what you needed to do. You need to PM, send me a real phone number, send me a real thing, and next Tuesday night, I'll give you your time on the air. I'll give you as much time as you want to debate. The moment you start making it a fight between you and I, you're not going to like it. I'm not calling you. Get your fake page. 352-514-0971. Let's see. But unfortunately, we're out of time. So I'm going to write your phone number down. Now, do you want to come into the studio next week? Or do you want to do it via... do you want to do it over Discord? I'll wait for your response. Get this butt dart player out of here. Yeah, I'm not going to delete him. One thing I believe in, frankly, Andrew, is the freedom of speech. I believe everybody has their title. They're entitled to their opinion, no matter how off the wall it sounds. I believe that everybody should be educated. There's a lot of people that aren't educated. You know, the thing is that I do educate myself. I don't listen to one news source. I don't read one newspaper. I get my facts, and I take everything because there's always three sides to every side. There's your side, their side, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. When you only allow yourself to watch CNN, you get one side. When you only watch Fox News, you get one side. When you only read one history book, which, by the way, most of our history books are just shot out, and the kids have been taught wrong. Michael's talking about he teaches history. He probably teaches that Columbus landed on Plymouth Rock. I don't know that for a fact, but I can only assume, which would probably make an ass out of me. Christopher Columbus never even came to North America. Not to the United States as we know it today. He never set foot on the northern part. He was a murderer. I mean, read your history books. Go back and get the old books and read his journals. He went down in the Bahamas and killed out of 300 people, killed 200 islanders. And then he robbed people. He was not some great guy. You know, it's funny in how he was the first one to discover America. No, when the Vikings were here long before that. There's been plenty of proof in that. They need to rewrite the history books, and they need to reteach history the way it is. Every day it changes. So there's no real way of rewriting history. But what we can do is teach our kids every time we learn something new, every time there's a new fact, there's educate people about it. But the one great thing about this country, and I don't know how Michael feels about this, but I still hold my hand. Today I was at a county meeting. I took my hat off in respect for the American flag, and I put my hand over my heart. I don't believe in these guys kneeling at football games, not when they're getting paid to go out there and play. You want to make a political statement and you don't like our country and you don't like our flags, those people that say that have never seen a mother stand there when their son comes back in a coffin. They've never been there when a flag is draped over a body of a U.S. soldier. They've never seen that casket opened up and seen arms missing or limbs. We do a horse riding camp for PTSD and wounded warriors every summer. You go and talk to these veterans that have had their legs blown off, their arms blown off, and you tell me it's worth kneeling down and disrespecting our national anthem and our flag. These men and women have fought and died for our flag. Some of them are missing legs and arms right now because of it. But you know what? They did it because they love this country. And for you out there that are saying, there's a couple of people saying, earlier today I got involved in a debate with a kid that was saying, well, we should get free health care and we should get free dental and we should get this and that free. And you know what? You can get it free. Join the freaking service. It's a job. You will learn something. Maybe you'll learn some respect for the country. But you're not going to get my hard-ass money that I busted my ass for almost 60 years. When you had nothing to do with my money, I'm not going to give you my money when you sit there and do absolutely nothing to get it. This country was founded on a dream that people can go out and do and make a name for themselves, make their own money. It's also set up for lazy people that want to be lazy. And yes, we give them handouts. And yes, your illegals do get Social Security. They do get a lot of benefits. When they come across the border, they get free medical. Right then. They also get entitlements. What about our starving children that are in this country? What about our veterans that come back and are sleeping in the woods? Because I know of a couple hundred of them. And there ain't nothing I can do to save them. I don't have that much money. Instead of you people bitching and moaning and groaning, why don't you go out and give them a sandwich? Instead of you people telling me what a dirtbag I am, why don't you? I don't see any of you people that are sitting down. Michael, I've never seen you at any fundraisers that I've done to help out people. When the lady lost her legs and her kid got killed, were you out there when little Dominic got crushed in a car up here on 309? Were you there helping out? Did you write and say one thing about pray for this woman? And guess what? The kid was mixed. He's part black and part white. Yeah, I'm a racist, right? That little kid got a bicycle because of the Putnam Way. They got refrigerator. They got place. They got help. But you know what? I didn't see you involved in any of that. So before you go and bash me, buddy, get your facts straight. I don't give a rat's ass about that anyways. For you people that joined in tonight, and I didn't mention your names, I want to thank you for listening and for letting me rant and rave a little bit. I want to thank Greg Williams for coming on the air as always. Greg is definitely a Republican. I'm neither one. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I learn. I educate myself on who the players are. Just like I had a talk with a Democratic representative today and told him I'll be voting for him. He's a local official, but I will be voting for him. You know why? Because he has his county's best interest at heart. So next election, I will be voting for the man. I will be voting for a Republican. But at the end of the day, this country was founded on people getting together and talking things out and working their issues out. When Congress did it in the very beginning, and when our founding fathers got together, they sat down and they worked it out. They had arguments between each other. But you know what? Through all their pissing matches, they came up with the greatest piece of paper ever known in history, and it's called our U.S. Constitution. Our right to freedom of speech, our right to bear arms, our right to petition our government, our right for religion, whether you're Islamic or whatever you are, if you're Jehovah's Witness, if you're Baptist or Catholic, it's all allowed. And you know why we don't have the United States as being a strictly English-speaking state or states? It's because they knew that wasn't important. There should be no national language. Everybody coming here should be able to communicate. And that's what our founding fathers wanted. When you're out and about and you see one of your young veterans in the store, they get their fatigues on, walk up and thank them for their service. Don't be an asshole. When you see an old veteran with a thing that says Vietnam vet on his hat, or retired serviceman, or you see it on their tag, walk up and thank them for their service. When you see a volunteer firefighter out on the street and they're only making $4 to $8 a call, they might be saving your sorry ass in a wreck one day. Walk up and thank them for their service. They make $4. They don't do it because they're making money off of it. You know, we love our volunteer firefighters. When you see a cop out there, don't tell your kids, walk up. And all you cop haters, don't go and tell your kids, oh, well, you better behave or I'm going to have the cop arrest you. No, that's just wrong. You instill fear in the kids' lives. Walk up and ask the officer if he'll flip on their siren. 99% of them will. So, with that being said, I want to give my shout-outs to Miss Debbie, Mama B, Annette and Audrey up in Louisiana. Even to my butt dart, Mike Taylor, shout-out. Todd Forrest. Let's see, Doug Williams. Brandy. Who else we got? Andrew. we got we got a lot of people on here, but I want to thank you guys and gals for listening to this show. Remember, you're never going to make this country what it has to be, and make America great is not on a hat. It's not a slogan. It should be what each and one of us. It's not a Donald Trump thing. It should be what each and one of us, every one of us, feel in our heart. Racism still goes on today. Make racism end. Well, my IT just walked in.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, guys, I just spoke with Michael Taylor, the young man that has been on the page with you. We need to apologize that we had said it was a fake profile. It is a regular profile, and he is going to debate you on Tuesday night and be on the show with you guys.
Not going to debate me. He's going to talk to me about what he feels to be right and what I feel to be right.
I did promise I would come in the studio and let him know that, we had changed it, that because we hadn't misinformed everybody that it was a fake profile page, but he will be on Tuesday night.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Mike. I was misinformed. Well, that's sweet. Wait, your 9 people that you're saying, first of all, a lot of people are hidden, so you can't see what we see. And it just doesn't stream out on Facebook. It streams out on IITW Radio. It streams out on YouTube Live. It streams out on Twitter, Spotify, all these things. It streams out all over the place. And we have a little over 1 million readers a week on the Putman Way. So with that being said, I look forward to having you in the studio next week, Michael. And, like I say, it's not a matter of getting in a pissing match with you. What I said before is the way this country works things out. I remain unbiased, but I do base my stuff on fact. So bring your fact sheet in, and we'll sit down and have a discussion. You can discuss with Greg. That should be really interesting. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you to all of our firemen, our first responders, to all of our veterans. Guys, we love you. Thank you for serving our country. And we will see you back here tomorrow night. And tomorrow night's show, there's no political stuff tomorrow night. This is about Fort Gates Ferry and where we stand at. I was at a meeting from 2 o'clock today until, way after 5 o'clock. And got some interesting stuff. Hopefully Fort Gates is going to be back and up and running, but stay tuned tomorrow night. And then Friday night, we have what's pissing me off. I have one of my friends from one of my great buddies, and he's been around forever. So, anyways, we'll see you guys later. And yes, I am unbiased. My facts are not wrong. All right, with that being said, I'm out of here. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night about 7:30. I'm out. Oh, and this is Austin Neal Brothers in Arms. Calvin O is the one who opened it up with One Nation Under God. Both are great artists. You can go over to IITWradio.com and check them out 24 hours a day. We play music, except for when I'm on the radio show. And let's see, one more thing. Oh, yeah, I'm out.
It's been back and forth to Georgia, Carolina a couple times. But there's that one trip that takes me back in time. On a plane ride to a foreign land, a journey had begun. To a different time with my old man, watching the more dogs run, telling stories and comparing battle scars. Well, they're always among us, the brothers in arms. Back to those nights of sitting there, writing letters home, to picking that old 6-string just to keep from feeling alone. Seen some tough times, some crying eyes, but never quit on me. Been through hell and back, even brought us back to where our hearts need to be. On a plane ride to a foreign land, a journey had begun. A different time with my old man, watching the more dogs run, telling stories and comparing battle scars. sin.